So my name is Omar Rampersad. It's 4:38 p.m., February 10, 2020. I posted a bunch of tweets and some videos of these signals. And some of those videos have high RF readings. That's this number right here. So you saw it go up to about 6 or 7 there just now. There you go, 7. So the RF readings indicate that um, a different type of technology is being used. Previously, if you look at some of my old videos, you'll see that this number was fairly stable and quite low, and this number was consistently high. So now this number is becoming quite high. This morning I saw it close to 1,000, I swear, 800 and something. So, and I just got a pulse on my shoulder. There you go. Well, it doesn't show quite clearly there. There it is right there. So what's going on in my building, as I tweeted before earlier on today, is there is a push to get me out of the building because there is information that's being spun that I am a prostitute, which I'm not. It's absoluted. So that's very interesting because the process of absoluting a lie is a conspiracy. I'm not a prostitute, never was a prostitute. So if it's absoluted that I am, then it means that everyone who took part in making a lie absolute is taking part in a conspiracy. And that conspiracy is to procure, to train, and to traffic remotely and then physically. So I'm at the stage where the recruitment supposedly was done and the training was done. So, based on the comments outside the window from the pimps, the next step is to make it physical. So, the comment is the pimp in the building, or pimps, I should say, there's more than one, decelebrated it, meaning it's the next step. So, as I said before, this trafficking, remote trafficking, where people can access you remotely, and that's what these signals are about, started quite a while ago. And I'm suspecting back in the 70s when I came to Canada. So you're passed around and you're used not only for sexual purposes, but for experimentation. And you're passed around, and then when it becomes more sexual, you're passed around, and you have many managers. And depending on the manager, and depending on your age, and depending on how pretty you are, and depending on how much you are liked by your managers, you are allowed to climb the ladder. I'm not saying that's true in my case, but I think that's what it's all about. My climbing the ladder was based on my ability to do so because there were so many obstacles put on my way. I doubt very much that my climbing the ladder had to do with getting support from managers who liked me. In fact, they put all the blocks that they could possibly put in my way. So it has a lot to do with racism as well. So my climbing the ladder was in spite of the blocks that was put in my way. But I guess there are people out there who realize what's going on and tacitly consent. Um, a lot of this programming is done while you're sleeping, and I think I demonstrated that quite clearly in some of my videos. A lot of technologies that are being used are not openly talked about, although they are commercially available and are being used on patients with disabilities, physical disabilities, mental disabilities. They're being used for, for therapeutic purposes. But of course, since this is a covert program, these technologies could be put to criminal uses, to train, to access and train remotely um, um, vulnerable victims, starting as children, into whatever the criminals want, by subconsciously programming the kids. So from 0 to about 17 years old, I grew up normally. So my conditioning was set way before I came to this country. So no amount of programming got to me permanently. Now, if somebody were to pulse you between your legs at night and increase your body temperature up to 5 degrees, I've seen it, 5 degrees as you're sleeping. What do you do when you're hot? You throw out all the pillows, you throw out, sorry, all the covers, the blankets, you pull off your clothes, you sleep with your underwear on. I mean, I used to do this in Trinidad when it was hot and no air conditioning as a child, as a child. But when you're sleeping, so maybe you do it unconsciously. You throw out the covers. If you have pants on, you take the pants off, and you sleep with your undies. Now, because your victims are being looked at as they sleep, and there is a program to paint you sexually, then they record this and make it look like you're being programmed when really you're reacting to the technologies being used on you. This is not programming. But the painting is very important. It's very important to put the painting in place to make it look like you're being programmed. But anyway, so I think this is exactly what happened in this building, and it's still going on. What I do while I'm sleeping, or while I'm half asleep, or whether when I'm um, uh, dozing off, this is not something that I would do when I'm wide awake. If and I notice that more and more technologies um, are used with more capabilities. So I should say, let me rephrase that. Different technologies are being used with more powerful capabilities. So when I figure out a technology and I overcome it, different technologies are put in place. So my reaction to that when I'm asleep, of course, you can't be held accountable for it. And yes, you're being programmed, but are you going to act on it if you're aware that you are being programmed? Well, no, because when you're completely aware and you're completely awake, then and you're aware that you are being programmed, then you're vigilant of your thoughts. You're vigilant of your inner voice, that conversation that goes on in your head between you and yourself, your your self speak. Let me say, let me rephrase that. Um, you're aware of that. So if another thought, another idea occurred to you that is foreign, then you would know. And that comes, of course, through self awareness and meditation. Meditation, folks, meditation. No amount of chips can get past meditation. So, anyways, I digressed a little bit there. I was going to show you the technologies. Um, as you can see, the RF reading there is yeah 7.5 right down to 0, when the EF reading is quite low. So my ear is tagged. That affects my balance. Left ear, cheek, jaw, eyes. Dry eyes, bags under the eyes. So the eyes is one of these organs in the body that cannot deal with heat. It doesn't, um, on your entire body, your skin acts as a regulator of heat, but in the eyes, there is no mechanism to regulate the heat, so it causes cataracts. The heat causes cataracts from these signals. The signals generate heat. The heat causes cataracts because the eyes cannot cool down by itself. So I put a wet towel over my eyes sometimes. So, but I do have a lot of floaters, which of course is being caused by these signals. Um, I was going to show you the temperature. 36.3, 36.3, 36.3. 36.9. Yeah, that is 36.9. 36.7, 36.6, 36.5, 36.4, 36.4. So I don't have a fever. So that was 36.9. And this one is 36.4. 37.2. There you go. That's the reason. 37, and the signals drop. It's not alarming. 36.8, 36.8, 36.7, no alarm. 36.6, 36.6, 36.6, 36.5, and that's my jaw. 36.5, no alarm, no alarm, no alarm, no alarm. 36.5, 36.5. So I don't have a fever. On and off. The jaw, the ear, off. Which is why the temperature is going up and down. So the air affects balance. It also affects the nerves in the ear, so you can lose your hearing. When the power is turned up in the air and it goes right through the air, it can affect your auditory nerve, just like when your eyes are being hit and it's hit really hard, and I've had it hit quite hard. It can affect your optic nerve. It could damage your optic nerve, which means that you're going to permanently lose your eyesight. On, off, on, off, on, off, which is why the temperature is going up and down, up and down, up and down. And my hand has been hurting, and here is why. Anyway, it's just crossed 15 minutes, so I'm just going to stop there.